guys? Tim also at DragBoss Garage. Welcome back. So if you saw the last video I put up, which was tearing down that 409 Cleveland right here, then you see that it had some issues. There's no doubt about that. The main issue is the valve guides are worn pretty bad. Now I had said they were probably about 20 years old, but I almost think they're from 1985 because they're iron valve guide, not bronze. I had some bronze put in, but a different set of heads, I'm pretty sure, and I ended up selling them to somebody because I couldn't put them on this engine because the combustion chambers were way too small and they wouldn't fit the pistons without fly cutting them. And Bob Beach said, look, let's not put these on. And I had these heads that I got from Jeff at Modern Cylinder Head. R.I.P. Jeff. Jeff also ported those other heads. Now, when you saw that video I made, that was just showing the movement of the valve and the guide. It wasn't measuring the clearance. So I might have misspoke on that. Some people were kind of confused on that whole issue. Now, the other thing that I noticed here, obviously, is the cracked cylinder head. So Darren's going to take care of that, and hopefully there won't be any issues. Seuss, what are you doing? And hopefully we can get it back. And there's some other things we'll talk about in a minute. Let me get this oil pan off. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and kind of seeing where we're going with this, because you know what, it's one of those things where, you know, it just, I don't know how to say it. It's got kind of a twist in it. Like nothing is ever simple. And it's like ever since I had a problem with this thing, with the oil pan or with the pickup breaking, it's been issues. So I know from other diagnostic evaluation of this, I didn't have any problems with the cracked cylinder head until probably the last couple races, because I noticed the vacuum pump wasn't working right. Normally it would pull about 3 or 4 inches on idle, and it wasn't. Then it wouldn't pull any vacuum until I revved it up a little, and then I only noticed it on the videos going through the traps. Once I got up to RPM, it was working. And at one time before a race, I ended up having to pull it off and clean it because it wasn't working. So I knew there was an issue with it, and then now we know. So it's not the end of the world. Hopefully Darren can fix that head. If not, I have another head we can just use, and he can report it, I guess. Although I don't like to do that because it's one of those things, I'd like to keep the combination the way it is and the way it's been working well. I hate having to put another head on it, although it's probably the same. I just don't like doing that. So we'll see how it works. So I'm pulling the pan off it. I really want to know how the bottom end's looking. You know, if you're going to go this far, you might as well. I thought about, oh no, just leave it alone and then just fix the head and put it back together. But you know what's going to happen when you do that. So now that I've talked with some sponsors, Brad Miller at BAM Lifters, we're going to put some new lifters in this thing. I'm going to send those other ones back and have them rebuild it because I like those lifters. And I actually have enough parts to build another Cleveland. So I'm going to build another Cleveland. The question is, do I build it with one of my blocks that I know I can just clean up and deburr a little bit here and there and put it together? Or do I build it with one of my new Cleveland blocks that I got sitting over there and test it out? You know, the issue is, it's only 30 over, and that block really would benefit, you know, from being a big bore engine. So you saw the video I made that compared the 4-inch bore to the 4-125 bore. Not a lot of difference, but enough probably to add an easy 100 horsepower or more just from cubic inch size. So I kind of want to build that. It could be a good test bed. Then we know if that block's good, you know, or how long it can hold ring seal. And that was the issue. So I'm thinking about doing that. Now, I don't know when this video is going to get out, but I picked up a lot of sponsors at PRI. I mean, everybody I talked to was more than happy to help out DragBoss Garage and get on board. So that's going to make a huge difference in the future, I'm telling you. And then another guy that I picked up is Nick Bacallis. Now, Nick's from Missouri, St. Louis, and he actually worked for BS for like 10 years, he told me. He owns a company called Bullet Racing Engines. Start sending me videos of them doing work. I think a lot of guys, including myself, sometimes I just like to see someone doing some work. You know, whether it's, I don't know, building an engine, putting pistons in, valve job, you know, milling stuff, that kind of thing. So they're gonna contribute, and it'll be something that you guys can watch too. I also picked up a chassis guy, Steve Barza. So it's the holidays right now, so it's kind of hard for everybody to get involved with this in regards to submitting content. You can see here, definitely got a good seal here. I like to put that in there and wipe it down smooth. Definitely helps seal that thing up. Look at that. It's even flexing on the cover. There we go. Now we're going somewhere. I always look for some smegma in there. Well, it looks pretty good taking it apart and pulling that oil pan off. That's for sure. And it doesn't smell burnt. That's another good sign. All right, guys, so I'm back on this, and Happy New Year's to you. It's going to be an awesome 2026, and I got a lot of wishes on that in regards to the new year to the boss sets and myself and family and all that, and thank you guys for that. Now, this is the oil pump I just mentioned before about getting it from Precision Oil Pumps, and I had sent it to them to blueprint it. And then I sent 2 of them to Steph's Oil Pan, where they made these custom pickups in the oil pan. Now the issue that when they send you the oil pump, it says, make sure you take it off to make sure there's no debris inside here, blah, blah, blah. Well, with this setup, there's no way I can get this cover off. I tried taking it off, and the way this bracket is welded down here, I'd have to try and pry this bracket up out of the way to try to get the cover off to inspect it. And I said I wasn't doing that, and I didn't do that. You know, I cleaned it up good, and it was good to go, and that's how I went. So it being stuck with the relief valve is something I'm waiting to hear back from them. It had nothing to do with me inspecting the pump. And I couldn't really check the relief valve because I couldn't get in there. So kind of a complicated issue, but it's on them, and they're gonna hopefully take care of it. All I want is another pickup and pump set up just like I had, and instead of putting a full bead of weld around the pickup and the pump, it doesn't need all that. A couple tacks is all it needs. So I'm gonna take the oil pump off now. I'm debating on whether I want to try this new camshaft. The new camshaft I have is exactly the same as the one that's in it now. The only difference is it's got 790-inch lift on the intake, gross lift, and my old one, or the one that's in here now, is 744. And we already know what that is as far as net lift goes because I measured it at the retainer, which came out to, I think it was 711 thousandths. I don't remember. You can look back and put in the comments or just look it up. I'll put a link to the video. So now this is common. I don't even read the threads anymore But you hear it all the time. Should I use a standard oil pump with shims and this, that, and the other thing? Or should I just use a high volume oil pump and still put shims in? I don't know. Here's what I'll tell you. I've been racing the same stuff for 44 years, right? Same combination pretty much. This one for 12 years. And I use a high volume oil pump, and that's all I use. I don't shim it. I don't do anything other than the oil mods I've mentioned before. So whether you want to use a standard volume pump or high volume, that is up to you. It makes no difference to me, and you do what works for your program. I would like to say, I would like to run a standard volume pump and see exactly if there is a big difference in horsepower on the dyno. It'd be kind of cool to do that. But at this point, I ain't messing around with it. This works. It didn't blow up. I'm putting it right back in. Now, a couple things I will tell you. Make sure you do your oil mods to this. Blend this all the way in up here to where the pump picks up, because it's tortuous and you want it as smooth as possible. I do use Tim Meyer's oil filter extension. I'm not sure how much that helps, but I do use it. And the oil pump gasket, make sure it fits on there perfect, because you don't want it covering up that hole, the inlet. So those are little tips. I'm going to try to take this off carefully without wrecking it, because I'll reuse it. Never have any problems with these things. Yep, comes off like a glove. So this is the oil pump gasket. I always use these. This one I'm going to reuse. I mean, the thing's in mint shape, so I'll clean it off, put it right back down. But sometimes you have to oblong that hole a little bit to match the block. And I even chamfer that area too. Now the oil pump drive shaft that I have here, this is from Precision Oil Pumps. It's a billet shaft. I like to look at it and I can see where it's been working in the distributor, but it's not bent. There's no crazy marks on it. To me, it goes right back in. I mean, I've used these same oil pump drive shafts for years at a time. So this is new though with this build, because he sent it to me as a gift. So thank you, Doug Garifo from Precision Oil Pumps. Probably gonna pull off this dampener, pull off this timing cover, and then probably pull the camshaft out and see about switching it over, just because I got it at this point. And if I do it now and I know it's good to go, when I go to put it back together, I know I'll be pretty damn close to having clearance, if that's what it is. And other than the heads getting cut if they got to be cleaned up a little bit. But it'll give me an idea. Plus, we'd like to know if it's got clearance. That'll be good information, because I did all the piston and valve clearance on other videos with the dial indicator method. I did it with the clay method, and I did it loaded with the clay method, I think, which is with the whole thing all together as far as the valve train goes, with no checking springs, the regular springs that go on it. That's what makes a difference. That's when you're really going to know what you got from piston and valve clearance. So let me go ahead and get this dampener off and the cover, and we'll get back. I'm dying to kind of spin this thing around, see how, oh, look at that. Nice. Plus, I like to look at the pistons coming in and out of there. Now, there's a little bit of mark on here. Better look at that. Still don't know what that little thing is I found in the oil pump, or on the oil drain plug, a little screw. If I put this up, I'll put a picture of that in there. Well, yeah, she turns smooth. Look at that.